choose first? Yes. Okay. Can we get started? It's live, right? Yeah. I'm on the screen. Yeah. Hello everyone. Welcome to the first Friday. Tonight will be the SQL learning part 2 already, right? Can you believe that? And we already went to part 2. Before tonight's lecture, I want to show some pictures about the luncheon we went to last Friday. The student. Okay, let me share the desktop. Okay. The student organization organized a trip to the Information System Auditing Controlling Association luncheon last Friday. It was a great event. Dolly was there, and then I see almost everybody, right? Paramver, Jose, and then Ramon, and then Amanpreet, Bobo, as you can see on this picture. Yeah. Before, when we went to some luncheon, usually 10 people will sit together, right? But this time, the organization changed the format. 4 people will sit on a country club table. It was very nice. The reason they changed the format is one of the 4 guests was a senior manager from a company. The organization invited senior managers from IBM, Ernst & Young, Price Water Coopers, IBM, On Fire, yeah, Kufal, Encore Electricity, several companies in Dallas Fort Worth market. The other 3 guests on this table will be students from universities around the Dallas. Yeah. So during this luncheon, students had some very casual, very social communication with the senior manager from the company. By doing this, we want to encourage the student to build a social network with the managers from industries to get the first-hand information about the job market, what the companies need from a new candidate, what kind of skills are popular in the job market. This is the purpose of this luncheon. We had a lot of fun. This is the presentation we had before the luncheon. And then we invited some representative from Neiman Marcus. They showed us how to behave when we had a business luncheon, how to use the plates on the table, how to use the glasses, the silverware, and so on. Yeah. It's very informative. This is Amanpreet. Amanpreet represents our university to introduce our student group to the guests. Yeah. She was a little nervous, but she did very well. Yeah. I'm so glad to see her. Any question? No? No question? Very good, actually. Yeah. Every time before we have this kind of event, I will send a message to all members. So if you are currently a member, you will receive an email, a notification, reservation email, or some reminder. I want to encourage you to join in this kind of activity. Yeah. By participating into the social event, you will learn the local culture here. Culture is something that you cannot learn in the classroom alone, right? You have to be engaging in the social events, reaching out to the business community in Dallas market to learn the culture here, to see how people do business in practice. These are also very important information. Besides the knowledge you learned in the classroom, you learn here in the student organization. Yeah. This is some event I want to share with everyone before we start the presentation tonight. Tonight we'll talk about SQL learning. The presenter will be Ramon. Ramon. Ramon is currently the business analytics student at Texas A&M University Commerce. He will present the advanced CQ for everyone tonight. Please welcome Ramon.
Hey, hi everybody. Thank you, Mr. Han. Thank you for the lovely trip at the Dallas luncheon. Um, Today we're going to study chapter 5 to 8 as it's on the PPT. In chapter 5, we were going to cover arithmetic operation, which involves all the operation from adding, subtract, divide, product, plus adding a string, adding some.
What's the text you as if I can't hear anything or see anything? Because your video, this is cross.
Okay.
I'll email her.
Okay.
Yeah, let me go to my office. Go ahead. Oh, this video is fine.
Okay.
This video is fine. Yeah.
So the first PPT. First, I would request everyone. On है sharing. ये पूरा share हो रहा है. The first, I will request everyone to download the database that I'm going to use using my operations. So right now I'm using Chris Filey's book for SQL. So I'm going to download the database from this site. I'm using this book as the reference for the SQL learning. So I'll go here, then I'll scroll down where it says download. Then I would download this zip file. After downloading the zip file, I will go to downloads, then extract all. After extracting all the files, you can use this books, which has the books which says DB2 or MySQL. It depends on what SQL or SQL language or database server you're using. So you can use any of these options to import the database into your SQL server. So I'm going to use MySQL Workbench. So I'm going to use this option. So after doing this and inserting uh, your database to your SQL database, now the first topic is arithmetic operations. As you can see in the PPT, we can use a various types of arithmetic operation while using in our database. So simply we can do select what the name of your table, then comma, then name of another table which is already inserted in the database, that is price, then comma, then we will create a new table which says a discount, and the value of the discount would be 0.10. So it'd be slow. So as you can see, we will select title ID, that is the table name we're going to work on, title underscore ID. Then we're going to use the price table, which is in our database. So we'll say price, comma. So basically we can write these two lines in one go. So select title ID, comma, price, comma. Then the second line or the third line could be 0.10, which is is used as a discount, which you can see over here. 0.10 is all over here in the discounts column. After
Yes.
So discount has been the discount column, and every other discount value would be 0.10. Now we want to apply this discount over our price. So we use price into, which is an arithmetic operation like plus, minus, divide, other operations. Multiplication is we're going to use right now. So we're using two arithmetic operations in this function. Price multiply by 1 minus 0.10. So actually we are multiplying the discount because 1 would be the 100% uh, to get a new price. So this value would be stored in a new price, and from titles, as we learned in a previous class, we have to mention the whole table again. When we run this, we can get the whole thing, which says title ID. That's what we selected.
Does it, this table doesn't exist.
Oh, तूने टेबल डाली है?
What got that?
तूने टेबल डाली?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you add the table from the MySQL workbench, the one which I used? When you selected the title ID showed up. When you write select,
Oh, okay, I got it.
you got it. Now it's working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, oh, sorry. Uh, so it says select ID will select this column, then price will select this column from our database. Then we inserted 0.10 as discount. So you can see this column is there with a new entry, discounts. Discounts was not there in previously in the database. We added discounts. Then we added a new price, which was price, that is our price into 1 minus 0.10. We will get our new price over here, which is a discounted price of our title ID of any book which are going to use. Now, my second function that I'm going to show you is putting a negative values in any of the tables which we are going to use. So we want select title ID, that is the title ID, then minus advance as advance. So the advance which was there in the database, and we put a negative sign over it. So now the whole advance would be in a negative format. So you can see that all the values are being created in negative values. So we can use this kind of to implement the stuff that we want in negative values or which are going in negative value in our database. Okay, Rahul? Work. Now we're going to use the product as I showed in my previous example, the product example. We're going to select title ID, price into sales. And no, as we know, the revenue is equal to price into sales. So I'm using price table and the sales table both at the same time, and making a new table as a revenue from titles, where now we're using where clause, as Jose in last previous class told us how to use the where clause. So I'm using where clause to more narrow down my request. So where type equal to biography. Now the this language will select anything which has title named as biography. It will select its price and sales, and it will do a product of those two tables and put the value of those two tables in under the name of revenue. And in the end, I've done the ordering of those things. So price into sales would be represented in a descending value. Um, Now the next example is strings and the connecting of the strings. Strings are the those values which we call which contains our characters. Multiple characters stored in a value is called as a strings. For example, Sarah is a string, like and the character could be called as a S. Letter S is known as a character. The whole word would be known as the string. So select A U, that is author underscore F N A M E name. So we are selecting author's first name. So that is the author's first name. Then we using double what do you call it? What do you call it? The symbol. Um, Using two straight bars, um, then dividing and giving a space between them by undercoating a space between them, then closing it by two double bars. That is the way you can connect two strings, and then adding another string, that is author last name, that is AU underscore L N name, last name, that represents the author's last name. And we are adding these two values and putting in the as author's name, the complete name, from, and we are selecting this whole thing from the authors, and we are doing the order of the new result as in ascending order. So Sarah Buchman, which was Sarah in a different column and Buchman in a different column, represented in a one column as an author name, the complete name in one string. So this is the connecting of the two strings. Now, as the previous example I showed, connecting of two strings can be explained in this example again. Connecting a multiple string or two string or more than two strings. So we select cast as a cell, sales as character 7. So we are making a new value which can store 7 characters in it, which is a sales. Then we are adding a string in it. This is one string. This is the middle of the second string. We are adding copies sold for of title. So this is our second string. This is our first string. So sales is integers, but we are making those integers into characters because integers and characters can't be attached in a one string. So it should be a character type. So we changed cast, that is the a function which changes one's data type to into another data type. So the sales was previously as a integer data type. We use the cast function to change that data type into the character data type. We changed that. Then we adding it with the copies sold of title. Then we are adding with the title ID. So basically we are adding sales figures, then the copies sold that we added in this string, then we added the title ID in the string. So we will get the sales and copies sold and the title ID of the book. And when we are using as a function to narrow it down of the name of the new table created would be a biography sale, which is we are narrow down from where type. You can see the where type we are using biography, so we will just use the books which are kept as a biographies. So we will use them, um, and and we'll use a function which says sale is a not null, means there should be some sales happen. So those values which has no zero sales or null sales will not be inflected or will be seen in this command. And then in the end, I ordered by the sale in descending order. So now this is in a descending order. The highest sale is at the top, the second highest sale is in the middle, and the third highest sale is in at the bottom of the table. Then as you can say, this is the sales. This is a copy sold of title ID 07. So this is the whole, we get the new table as a biography sale. So this is the book, which is says title 07 is the book number, and the number of copies sales are this much. So we added the sales, we added the title number with the copies sold, right? Moving on, next one.
Before you move on, could you explain the two parallel line again, please?
Two parallel line. Uh, just a
Previous
second.
one.
Let me. Okay. I'm moving forward. Okay. So when you want to add a multiple strings in any function, as any other function which are in database, these two parallel lines are the only way to add two strings with one another. So these are the like a tuple or a condition or a way of method which is used to add two strings to add to to one another. So cast sales. So as I explained earlier, the cast will change the input characters of the input data type of the sales, because sales is a input data type entity, and it will change from input or integer to character value. That's why we have stored 7 values or 7 bytes in the character value, and as we know, character can store 2 bytes for one allocation. So right now we are holding 7 bytes right now. We're using two lines again, then writing copies sold of the title. So we'll get the sales figure, then we will get some space, then we'll get copies sold for of title. Then we're using again two lines, then we'll get the title ID from the database, and that would be seen in a one string, in a one go line. As you can see in the output area of the database, that's the first 6 or 7 figures are the sales values. Then we have the string written, the copies sold of, then title, then we have the title number or the title ID that is grabbed from the database.
So first you get data from the
Sales column.
Then you write
A new string.
Text, right?
Yeah,
Copy
text.
sold of title.
Yes, sir.
And then you get the value from the title.
Title ID column.
Oh, okay.
So we use those three things to get a complete sentence,
Yeah.
to generate a report or something.
Okay.
Maybe the purpose of generating reports, so to get a better knowledge which book from the biography department has been sold.
Oh.
So
And also
as
you created a new column called
biography sale.
biography
So to
sale.
check the biography sale, so I've used the where clause, which says only those book who has the uh, you know the book type is biography.
Okay.
The type of the book is biography,
Yeah.
will be calculated and will be inserted in the strings and will be shown as a sale of the biographies.
Very good. And also after where clause, your standard is the value in the sales column
Should not be null.
Yeah, very good.
So it should not be 0.
Okay.
So there should be some sales to be get some
Should not be empty. Right?
empty
Not-
or null,
Yeah.
0,
No value.
no value.
Okay, I see. Very good. Thank you so much.
Moving on, we have the topic of substrings. The substring can be defined as a string, which is our whole characters, made of characters. And if you want to go and break it down into pieces or different parts, is known as substrings. So we select AU, which represents author underscore first name of the author, comma AU underscore L name, which represents author's last name, and then we have chosen the phone. So, and this all three tables are from the author department. So we selected from authors. Now we are using where substring. Now remember, guys, while I was making my PPT, I was using Oracle XE, so I use SUB str. If you are using MySQL or something else, your your um, your function would be as sub string, the whole world. It should not be a small format. It should be like whole word sub strings, so you can use your function properly, or else you will get an error that while doing it. So I was using Oracle, so I use sub star. So star is a short form of the string. So while you're using your own database, you have to look into it. You can check with your directories and everything. So you can use sub or strng string. Now we have selected the phone, and I selected the phone, and I want the first three digits of the phone, like the area codes. Like in states, we use the area codes. First three digits are the area code of the states. So I want to get the area codes of the phone numbers. So I use phone, comma, one. One goes from first initial input, and comma three is the last input. So the 1 to 3 will work. So substring phone, it will select the phone column, and then one will start the first initials, second initials, and it will work till the three initials. But this is again, I want to remind you guys, I used the Oracle, so the tuple would be different. For MySQL, it would be phone, comma, one from, phone from 1 to 3. So you have to write phone from 1 to 3, because some database has handwriting is not good. Yeah, sure. uh, but we are not sharing the webcam.
That's fine. Yeah.
Sub SUSTRANG brackets phone from name, sorry, from FORM 1 to 3. Next PO2 PO 2 2 3 bracket close or semicolon 2 3 bracket close equal to inverted commas 8 single 1 4 3 3 yeah 4 1 3 which is better comma yeah or semicolon semi dot or semicolon dot or comma semicolon. Those are two concepts. So as my friend Dolly has helped me out with her best handwriting, so this is for my school people, guys. Sub string, that's the whole function you have to use. Phone, the any table you want to select. Phone, I'm using phone right now. From will select the first initial point of that table. From 1, it will select the first space or first bit of that whole table. To 3 spaces, it will work from, it's a kind of for loop. So it will go from 1 to 3. It will go 1 2 3 spaces. So we want to compare it with 1 4 3 or 4 1 3, any digit you want. So anything. So as I've used in this one 4 1 3. So any first 3 digit phone number which matches with 4 1 3 would be selected with their first name and last name. So first name, last name, and the phone number, which has first three digits as 413. Right? It worked. What's there? YouTube?
I'm fine, I think it's probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 413. I'm not.
Two, two and three. Three. Oh, okay.
Okay. The next thing, we're going to use the upper and lower case of a string. So this two function can help us to change the cases of any string we're going to use. Um, so we'll select lower first author's first name. You can write str2 if you can. Uh,
Try four, one, two, three. It's based on my signature. I'll take a look. Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Now we are going to use upper and lower case of strings. The upper and lower case of a string means we can use this to function to change anything, any values which from any case to complete uppercase or either complete lowercase. So lower, that's the use of the function. We're calling the function. Oh, sorry. We're calling the function as a lower bracket start author underscore first name. That's the calling of the table. As inverted commas lower, we are making a new function. Oh, sorry, new table as lower. Then we're using upper function for author's last name and adding it to a new table as upper. Now from the everything is stored in the authors, so we're calling it from authors. Now we are running it, as you can see in the in the output stage. The Sarah, which is the first name of the author, are all in the lower cases, and the last name, the Butchman, are all in the upper cases. So this two function helps you to change the cases of either of any string that you are using in any database or the tables. Now it's a trim function. The trim function helps you to cut the strings. Like while using substrings, we were able to use the few inputs as a substring, but the trim function helps you to cut into the strings, as the name suggests, trim. We are trimming it. We are cutting the strings into two parts. Um, so we are selecting author's last name, then using the trim function. So we are calling it as a trim, then loading. Uh, yeah, we are loading it. Um, sorry, we're calling it trim, and we are using a leading. So anything which starts with H, the letter H, will be cut, and any name which starts with letter H would be omitted from the string, and the rest of the string would be given as an output for the table. So I use trim, then the leading. You can use leading or the other functions, like from if you want to trim from from the end of the string. Right now I'm using the function which trims from the start of the string or the beginning of the string. So leading edge from author last name, and we are getting inserting this value which is being trimmed as a trim name from authors, calling the whole database. So you can see the name, then sorry, yeah, you can see the author name, the author last name, Butchman, and then you can see at the entry number 3 there is Hull, Hull. Then there is another entry of Hull at the number 4, but you can see the trim name doesn't have H in it. So we have omitted H from the Hull, and you will get ULL. So it's called the trimming of the string. Guys. So from this function, you can use something which is by mistake inserted in the database, or you don't want to be there, or you just want to omit from it, but you want the string, but just a letter to be omitted. So you can call the trim function. You can get the location of the string by the string length, which I'm going to use and tell you how to use it in my next slide. String length. As you can see the name, it represents or it deals with the length of a string. So in this, we're going to learn how to use the length of the string, and then we can use the previous functions like trim function or any other function to make changes in a particular string. So select AU, that's the author, underscore the first name, then we are calling a function length, which is for the string, then using the string AU underscore the first name, and putting the input of which would be there as an len len in a new table, and the everything has been worked on the authors department. So AU name, that is Sarah. Let's count how many characters are there. S is 1, A is 1, A is 2, R is 3, A is 4, and H is 5. So you can see the length of the Sarah or the author name first is 5. So and you can see so on. Let's see the other one. Kale. It says K for 1, L for 2, E for 3, and E for 4. So we get the length as a 4. As a Christian has a 9 characters in it, so we get the length as a 9. So we can get the values which are there, and we don't have to calculate and go on, just go check every values and calculate the every single. We can just use the length function, and we can get the length of any strings. So when we use database, we also handle the date and time, and date and time is as much as important part of the database. So and we can use date and time function while using database, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Select title ID. Now we are selecting a particular table. Publication date, which is already there in our database, and we are calling it from the titles. Where extract, now we are extracting a particular year from the database. Now we are extracting a particular year from the database, and let's see how we extract it. After using the year, Uh, it now, when using this function, we know that the date has days, months, and years. Now, whenever there are four consecutive characters in there, in our string or in our date file, or the date column, it will be counted as a year. So year from pub date or publication date. Now we are using between a function to narrow down our values, what we want, that between 2001 and 2002. So any day, any year which is similar to 2000, which is after 2001 and after 2002, or between 2000 and 2002, any date which occurs between these 2 years will be published. Then we are using extract month from publication date. Now we are further narrowing down our output from 2001 to 2002, which has the month between 1st and 6th. So we will get the output as 31st May 2002, which comes 0 to 6, is a May is 5. Now the other one is June, uh, which is also between 0 to 6, and the other one is January, which is also between 0 to 6. So using this function, you can you can handle the date and time from the database and get your desired outputs. uh, Moving on, this is a case function. So we are selecting title ID, type, and the price from the our database. So select title ID and price. You can see, and now we are using case type when. So case would be a function, and a type is equal to a data entry, which is the type of the book. The type of the book is, which is shown as the history. We are selecting the history books right now. Then calculating the price, its new price, which is the old price, into 1.90. So indirectly we are updating a new price. So the price, the old price into 1.0. Then we are also selecting the psychological books. We have to update the price of the psychological books. Then we using the same price function, price into 1.20. This time we are increasing price by 1.20 for the psychological. Else the price remains same. Now the new price would be inserted in the new price as new price in the new price table or the column. And now in the end we are ordering them by in ascending orders of the titles, or by the type of the book. We are sending by the type of the book, so the biography would be like in alphabetic order. So after running all this information, we'll get title ID. We'll get title ID, then the type that we selected, the price we selected, and the new price which we got from this. And as you can see, biography has we haven't touched a biography. So anything biography children has the same price as it was there, like 19.995, 19.9.5. Then children had $10, they were $10. But as you can go and see the history, it's 2.1 to 21.99, and it's been changed to 24.190. So this is a new price of the title ID T2 of history, and its new price is 24.109. Then you can see we choose psychology. So title ID T04 psychology. The earlier price was 12.99. The new price is 15.58. So we changed our old price to new price. This is the case function in which We use multiple functions in its own functions. So we can use multiple cases along with one thing. So it starts with case. This is our first function till the price. Then we say when the psychology. This is our second function, and this is our third function, and this is the ending of the case.
Do we use the same format in MySQL, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Very good.
For MySQL, in this case, we use the same format. This is a cold slice function. Um, it is used to change any values which has been null to give it a name. So basically, the use of this function is to omit the null, because null shows a different thing when while operating a database. Null is like, oh, it's null. We don't want, oh, it's null. We want not available or zero or something. So we'll select publication ID, then city. These two tables we're going to work with. Then the function calls function. Then we'll work on the state which we don't have it, and we'll represent it as a not available as a new state, STE, stat, or and it's on been worked on country, and which has been published, which is in our data table of publishers. So, oh, sorry, okay, which is in our database of publishers. So anything which has null thing, any state which has null, or which doesn't have any states in it or with any value in it, would be represented as NA, not available, in our new output. Null if, so null if would be a function um, which gives there is if there is a value in as 0 in it, in our table or in our database, it will give us a null value. So we will select title ID, contract, our table. These two are the tables, and we are using null if contract is 0. That's the function, like we're calling the table in it, and we're using a function in it. So if contract is equal to 0, then null contract, and it will be shown as a null in it. So you can see the contract table, and the T10 value is 0, and you can see the new table which null contract, it shows null, right? Moving on, the maximum and minimum function. Now, this is the beginning of the statistical approach of a database. Maximum minimum function is the way we can use the statistical method or mathematic methods in our database. Select. Now we will do select minimum price as minimum price. So minimum is a function. It will collect the least value in the price, and it will store it in a new table or new column. Then we are using max function, and we're using the same thing. We're calling it the same table, same column, price column, as maximum price, which is our new column or new table in it, and we're calling a maximum price. This is the maximum price minus minimum price as a range. So we are doing a mean of it. So while doing a single statistical thing, we are using a three statistical things. So minimum would be 6.95. It is the least value used in our table of price. And the maximum price of our titles are 39.95, and the range of this is 39.95 minus 6.95 is 33, which is our range. So we used statistical methods with our arithmetic methods to get our desired options or results. This is the beginning of the chapter 6, which is grouping of the functions. Grouping of the functions, grouping, which is major part of the database. You need to group your data very effectively to get your desired results. So we'll use the grouping of the function. This is the basic grouping of the function example. Select author ID, count is star, as like it will work as a star n number of infinite loop, as num books, that's number of books from title authors, group by author ID. So anything which has same field, which has same number of books or something, would be in the same bracket, same group. So you can see AO3, the author ID. Author ID has two books. So both books are being represented as a number 2. So it has been as a counting number, and we are counting number of books that they have published or they have been authored to. So author 3 has 2 books, author 6 has 3 books, author 4 has 4 books, and author 2 has 4 books. So this is the way we are grouping the data. We're getting, we're calling 2 or 3 more functions to get our desired results. Grouping of data can be done in various manner. The first and the most used joins or grouping of data is inner joins. When I'm using foremost, because it's the foremost inner, we use the inner joins. So we are selecting author ID and author's city too with the author ID from the author's table or database. Inner join publishers. Now we are joining them with the publishers, the city, and the everything on author.city, and we're joining those functions when we are using inner join publishers. So they will call the publisher column a publisher table, and they will check the author city and the publisher city with each other. So they will join those values which has same cities among them, like the author city and the publisher city are same, and they will give you the value of the author ID. So San Francisco is the author city and the San Francisco is the publisher city. The both the author and the publisher belongs to same city, and the author ID is A3. So we get the author which say lives in San Francisco, and his publisher is also living in the San Francisco. Similarly, there is an author 5 who lives in New York, and his publisher or his publishing house or the contract with his publishing house is also based in New York. So we get by using this author.city equal to publisher.city. By using inner join, we are joining 2 tables with 1 table, that is city. Let's see another inner join function. Select author first name, author's last name, and author's city from the authors. And yeah, there are 2 ways to call the inner join functions. The previous way was the more general way. We didn't use any adjoining alphabet against the table, calling of the tables and everything. Now this is a different way to call the inner joins. So we are using this author city, author name, and author name from the authors A. A is just a way to call the functions. So inner join, we're using the function publishers P. Now this A represents, it's belong to column A, that is author, and P represents the column P, that is publishers. And we're using inner join on author city and publisher cities. So we have author name, author's first name, last name, and the city. In this city, we can see the city which has common city between authors and publishers. So in the previous one, we had the author ID, but now we have the full name. So Kale Hull is from San Francisco, and her author or her publication is also based in San Francisco.
So A and P are just another names for different tables, right?
Sorry, sir.
A and P.
Are just notifiers, or just to help you that this function would call something from A,
Yeah.
and this function will call from P.
It's called
Publishers.
It's called
Identifiers.
alliance, right? Alliance. Yeah, we learned last time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as Jose told us.
Oh, why is alias?
Alias.
Absolutely.
Alias.
Alias. Yeah.
Cross join is another way to join two tables, and select author ID, publication ID, and we are selecting the author state and publication states from author, and we are using cross join function similarly as the inner join function, but in this case it will be a cross, like a multiplication, cross multiplication. The table would be in a cross, the joining would be a cross joining. Yeah, like this way. Natural join function, as you can see, we're calling, it's similar as inner join function. We are joining two groups in one. So now the chapter 8, the most important part of the our SQL thing, subqueries. So subqueries are the queries which we can use, like one query is going on and we can use another query inside it, and multiple functions are known as subqueries in SQL. So select publication ID, and from titles where type equal to biography. Select publication name from publishers, and where publication ID is 1 or 3. That's the loop we are running it. So we have two names among us. That's the subquery.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Great presentation. Thank you very much. Very good. Great presentation. I learned a lot. Yeah, it's very informative. For the online student, I wish you have a great night. For the in-class session, please stay. We'll talk about Kaggle computation. Yeah. Our next presentation will be next first Friday will be April the 1st, the first day. But our study is not a joke, right? We'll still have the first Friday, April 1st. Yeah, I will email everyone before the first Friday. Okay, for online student, have a good night.
We'll have to